Thank you. God bless you.
Any topic is good.
Very nice. So tonight, I wanted to speak. I wanted to speak to you about something interesting. Tonight is the yahrtzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu.
Tonight.
Today, it was today.
Right.
The truth is that whenever we have Adar Aleph and Adar Bet, so it could be this month, could be next month. So, and the beauty of Moshe Rabbeinu is that he's eternal. And to learn from Moshe Rabbeinu, it's so many Baruch Hashem good qualities. I feel zechut to talk about him. And I'm telling you in advance that as much as I collected, we cannot ever cover all, this special person, all this personality. Let's start with a story, okay? About close to 500 years ago, okay, lived a big rabbi by the name of the Marsha. His name was Rav Shmuel Eliezer Halevi Eros. That was his name. And this story is about him. So, in Vienna, okay, years ago, Austria, they made a big dedication for a new shul, a new synagogue. And they were looking for donors. So the rabbi is asking the crowd, whoever is going to donate a very good sum of money, any wish that he's asking, his wish is going to be granted. I will promise that B'ezrat Hashem, anything he wants, he's going to get it from God, from Hashem. What did he want them to donate? The cornerstone that they put, the first one that they put for the building, if you weigh it in gold, if you give the amount of it in gold, it's a big amount. So anything you want, I'll bless you, and you'll get anything you want. There was this simple man there that was wealthy, but very simple man. They didn't have children. So he comes to the rabbi and he tells him, I'm willing to give you the amount if you are going to bless me with kids. The rabbi looked at him, looked into him, and he said, it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. He said, please bless me. I'll give you the amount. He said, okay, come to me in 3 days. I'll talk to you. So, okay, in 3 days he comes to him with his wife, and he's like, Rabbi, please bless us, we want a child. The rabbi said, I looked into it, and I saw that if you're going to have a child, so lo aleinu, you're going to pay a very, very heavy price for that. He says, whatever, I don't mind. He says, lo aleinu, you're going to lose all your money. Everything, nothing is going to be left. Lo aleinu, you're going to get sick and then die. And lo aleinu, your wife is going to get pregnant, but she won't survive. Do you want that? It's very hard. He goes, to ask his wife what to do. They keep thinking and thinking. And then they said to themselves, oh, what should we do? Who's going to continue the legacy of the family? Who's going to have whatever we left? If not, we need a son, we need a baby, a child, something. They said, we'll take everything upon of us. Just give us, please, bless us with a baby. The rabbi blessed them. And he said, and he blessed them that this special son that they will have will, first of all, he will be famous with his Torah. He's going to write books. He's going to be a very special man. He's going to be a big rabbi. And he's going to elevate them in the next world, in Olam Haba. They will see so much nachat from him just because they gave such a big amount of money to the synagogue. And fine. The minute they leave the rabbi's office, he gets, okay, they didn't have phone calls, but he got a message that there was a fire and all his warehouse, okay, lost, all whatever he had lost in the warehouse. Nothing left from all his assets in the warehouse. And then his ships and all his merchandise sunk in the sea, and then a problem after problem, chains of problem of all the kind of disasters that happened to him, and he had to sell his house, and then they started to be beggars. Baruch Hashem, his wife got pregnant, exactly like the rabbi said, but he got sick. He wants to write a will so that his son will understand how much they sacrificed for him, so that he will be born. He didn't even have a chance to finish his will because he passed away, lo aleinu. His wife, okay, doesn't have a house, so wanders from house to house, cleans people's homes and everything. Whenever it came times for labor, she was wandering from place to place. She doesn't have a house. And she's walking in the snow, and she's walking, and eventually she just collapsed in the entrance of one of the houses. A woman hears somebody by the door. She opens the house. She sees a woman in labor. She has nothing on her. She's so poor. Quickly they bring her home. Quickly they try to help her out. But the labor is long and it's so hard, and she suffers. And okay, she gives her some hot water. She tries to help her out. She puts her on a clean sheets and a clean bed. But she cannot really help her more than that. And then when she sees that the labor is so hard that she's afraid she won't be able to make it, she asks the lady that helps her, please, can you take care of the baby that will be born? She says, sure, don't worry, I will take care of her. She wants to assure that everything will be okay. And she says, please, can you adopt him? I don't want him to be left. He's alone as is. There's nothing on his name, nothing. And she's like, don't worry. I'll take care of him. I'll raise him like my own son. Don't worry. She promises and promises, and lo aleinu, this woman died. But the baby survived, and they named him Shmuel Eliezer, and became very talented. From young age, he knew Torah. He knew how to learn. He was very good, and when he became an adult, so a lot of people came to offer them their daughters because he's so talented, he's so special, but he doesn't want to get married to anybody. Wealthy people come to him, please, you're going to marry my daughter, I'm going to give you a house, I'm going to give you a job, I'm going to give you a business, I'm going to give you, I don't know, I'll make you the chief rabbi, I'll make you, I don't know what. Promises and promises. He doesn't want to get married to anybody. He prefers to get married to the girl of this, of his benefit, of the people that raised him, because he felt so much gratitude to these people. So he gets married to this girl, and right afterwards he wrote a very famous book. It's called Chidushei HaMaharsha on the Gemara, and he became very famous. A lot of people, it's interesting that his name was called Eidos. Eidos is after a name of a woman. Who? His mother? No, his mother was Gittel. Eidos was the one that raised him. Why he was called after the woman that raised him, not after the mother that sacrificed her life for him, gave up everything just to give him life? Because they say something interesting. Parents, they give life, and it's true. When it comes to honoring parents, to honor parents is the most important thing because they gave you life. But this woman, this Adol, whatever, she didn't really have to raise him. She did it out of her free choice. It's not like a mother that's obligated to raise a child and she do anything to ensure that he's healthy, that he has everything, that he gets education, that he gets. She doesn't have to. She has to. That's her son. But this woman that raised him didn't have to. And so this rabbi felt that he has to feel a feeling of gratitude, and he named himself after the woman that raised him, after his mother-in-law. Okay, let's put it this way.
Oh, he knew all the story that he's adopted.
Yeah, of course. They always told him, and he knew that the people that they raised him, so his parents and everything. Same thing, if you think about this, happened to Moshe Rabbeinu, and this is the reason I started with this story. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he was born, first of all, the whole house became full of light. A special neshama, soul that came to this world. It says that his parents, Yocheved and Amram, the very, very special people. Gdol Adar was Amram. He was the biggest rabbi at that time. He gave him a name. His mother gave him a name. God gave him a name. Bnei Israel called him a name. Miriam gave him a name. Aaron gave him. Everybody named him a special name. According to the time, according to his qualities, according to what he was supposed to do and what he have done. And the only name that was chosen that everybody will call him was Moshe, that was given to him by Batia, the daughter of Paro. Slicha, like his father is a big rabbi. His mother, she gave birth when she was 130. Think about her, how she has to sacrifice herself and her health for this kind of a baby. And the situation was not allowed to bring children to the world by Paro's decree, and still they tried so much and they gave so much, and even God gave him a name, and this name was not accepted by everybody. The name that was accepted was the name that Batia, the daughter of Paro.
I'm sorry, what was his real name?
People called him all kind of names. They say that the common name that mostly people called him was Shmaya ben Netanel, that in his time they listened to Hashem, that he gave a Torah and all kind of names but he was called Moshe. Moshe, that Batia bat Paro, she saw that his mother, she threw him to the water because they were looking for babies. They were looking, baby boys were not allowed, okay, by the decree. And she saw a little baby. She knew that he was a Jewish. She heard his cry. It says that he cried like an adult, and she knew right away that it's a Jewish because this baby is crying for the pain of his brothers. It's amazing, and she extends her hand and she's able to reach, and she takes him. And she calls him Moshe. Moshe, she pulled him out of the water. But the idea is the same way that Batia bat Paro, she pulled him from the water, this boy is going to pull Bnei Israel from Egypt. He's going to save them. He's going to redeem them. But, in this action that Batia bat Paro did, she also gave him a lot of power. She also did an act of mesirut nefesh. Mesirut nefesh means when somebody sacrificed himself to do something. She was not allowed to save a Jewish boy. She went against the will of her father, and he was the king of Egypt. Anybody that goes against the will of the king is supposed to be executed. No questions asked, even though it's his daughter. And she went against her father to save this little boy. What does this little boy have to do with you? Why are you caring about him so much more than your father? But see, she she felt that her father is wrong. She felt that this boy is something special, and she did this act of mesirut nefesh. And she gave this little boy, this Moshe, she gave him also this power of mesirut nefesh to go and to save the Jews against all odds. Again, even though it's not easy, even though he has enemies, and the king is chasing after him, and all this, and That's the power that he got.
Is this true that when the time when she took him, she has a sickness in her body?
נכון, שיהיה צרה.
And they said when the time when she took him, she become pure, like clean.
It's true, it's true. It's very
That's
nice what you
right.
say. I mentioned before that when he was born, he had a special light. This light is from the Or HaGanuz. There's a special light. When God created the world, he had this special light to come with this. It's not the sun and the moon. Sun and the moon came on Wednesday. Special light. And Hashem saw that this light is not good for the whole world. Because if you see everything, if you see too much, God forbid, people can take advantage of that. People can see who's in the house, if somebody's there, somebody's not there. Maybe I can rob because nobody sees me. People, with this side, they can do all kind of stuff. They can take advantage to the negative too. So he hid it. Hashem is hid it only for tzaddikim la'atid lavo, for righteous people later, not now. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he was born, I heard one of the Midrashim say today that he was born on the 7th month. He was 6 months and 1 day old. This is when he was born, 3 months before the time. For those 3 months, they say, the Egyptians didn't look for him yet because they knew that she was supposed to give birth 3 months later. So, but they say that every pregnant woman, the baby is studying Torah inside. And he has this special wisdom, he has a special light inside within him, and he lacks it for 3 months. So he got it when he was alive, for the first 3 months. Now, when Batia Bat Paro touched him, she had leprosy, and she wasn't pure yet. She went to the Nile to get pure, but she wasn't pure yet. She touched him, this light disappeared from him, and he didn't have it anymore. He got it later on, when he was by the sneh and he saw Hashem, and then after he came from Mount Sinai, he had this light all the time with him. They said that his face was shining from this light until people were afraid to look at him. He had to put some kind of a cover on top of him. Amazing, something interesting.
Because when she has the mother name, I forgot.
Yocheved.
When she have him, 3 months she was keep him on a light. She has a light on the top of him because to make him to more mature. Like.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I didn't
That's
hear.
why today, this everything come from
From the past.
From the past.
They kept it in a light.
Да, 3 месяца они держали его на light. И вот сейчас вот это все, что medical, it's come from us, from that generation. And Pupa, what's the name? The girl who give him like from the kamish string, give him air from the nose, clean up. That time they used to do this, to clean up. Like now when the baby come, they...
She means Shifra and Pu'ah. Okay, beautiful.
Pua.
What else?
It's true. Today people go back to olden days methods as much as possible. I went to Israel recently for my daughter's when she gave birth. They try so much to make it natural. They don't want to induce. They don't want to try not to. It's up to you, of course. If you want, you do it.
I did not epidural, but they gave me I was sleeping, like morphine type. But I felt everything.
It depends. Certain laborers, you need to be awake, to be able to push. Whatever. Everyone has their own experience with labor. So, So Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem tested him, as Hashem tested all the leaders of Am Yisrael, first with being a shepherd. Why is it so important to take care of animals? To see how merciful he is. To see how he's taking care of this little lamb there's a description in the Midrash how a little lamb ran away from him and he chased after him. And then he saw that he's coming towards the water and he said, I didn't know that you're so thirsty. You're probably also so tired. So you let him drink. And then he carries him on his shoulder and brings it back. And Hashem sees that. Why the leaders of Am Yisrael, Yaakov Avinu, David HaMelech, some other leaders as well, before becoming leaders of Am Yisrael, they were first shepherds. So it's interesting. They say in order for a leader, okay, not to take care only on the overall of the nation, but to take care of every individual, okay? So he tests them first to see how they are as shepherds. If they do, are merciful with animals, and not only here, we see other examples how Moshe get out of his way to take care. So there were these two Jewish people that were started to fight. He saw it and he's like, hey, what's happening? Why? He saw a Jew and not Jew, that the non-Jew is abusing a Jewish person. He also, he couldn't stand it. It bothered him very much. We see all kinds of examples. He was chased. He ran away from Egypt. He came to a well. He saw bunch of girls, daughters of Yitro, are trying to pull some water from the well. But because they were just daughters, just girls, so the guys took advantage of them. They didn't let them to draw water until they will finish, and they chat and they spend time, and he saw the injustice there, and it bothered him. He decided that he saves them. So Hashem checks him in all kind of ways, and he sees that this guy is not sitting in his corner, okay, what can I do? The world is like that. Or he is trying to make a difference. He is trying to change. He is trying to, and this is the beauty of Moshe. So Moshe was not raised with his family. He was he was raised in the palace among non-Jews, in the king's palace, and over there as a prince. Okay, so the experience of life teaching forms him to become a leader. Okay, if he would have stayed in Egypt with his brothers, he couldn't have become a leader, because a slave has a mentality of slave.
Yeah.
You're afraid to make a change. You're afraid of your master. You don't have the courage to get up and do things. You're afraid of the outcome. You're limited. You cannot do things. And here Moshe Rabbeinu was raised, not as a slave, as a brother, but in the palace. Over there he got courage. Over there he got all kind of manners, how to be king, how to behave like a king, all kind of education that he got, all kind of, okay? And all these didn't make him arrogant, didn't make him, who cares about my brothers? He did care. And the first day that he get out of a palace, we already see how he intervenes, how he makes a difference, how he changes, and how things are bothering him. Vayigdal Moshe, he raised him, not only in height. They say he was very, very tall man. Not only in height, also his personality. A big person, a leader, is tested not only in the way that how much education he got and all kind of decisions that he makes, but how he cares about other people, how he thinks about other people. And that was the beauty of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu takes advantage of this authority that he got in the house of the king, and he tries with a firm way to save his brothers. That's the beauty of. You all know this midrash that when he was young, he was small, he was a baby, he was sitting on Paro's lap. It was interesting that the way that he grew in his palace, and he was his enemy. That was the decree, to kill the savior of Am Yisrael even before he's born. But he grew up in the palace, and he took once his beautiful crown and he put it on top of him, Moshe Rabbeinu. And all his advisors, you see, that's what we were afraid from. That's probably is the baby that we were afraid of. You have to kill him. It's not good. And Yitro was one of the advisors there. He says, no, sometimes it's little kids. They're not aware of what they're doing. Let's test him. Let's put something shiny like gold, and let's put something shiny like hot coals, and see what he picks up. If he picks up the gold, it means that he's smart. If he picks up the red coat, means that he's stupid. Okay? So what if he touched and he took your crown? And that's what they did. And Moshe Rabbeinu, of course, wanted to take the gold. And then comes the angel, and he moves his hand, and he touches the hot coal. He touches that coal instantly. He takes his hand and he puts it in his hand, in his mouth. So since then, he becomes to stammer. He stutter. He doesn't speak well. The question is, a leader of Am Yisrael. Imagine to yourself somebody that runs to the election of the United States presidency and he stutters.
Заикается. Он заикался.
Would somebody elect him? Today it's so important, the looks,
Speech.
the way that you speak, how you answer back, and all this show business. It's so important. Like, who's your friends, how much money you have, who's your circle of your fans. All this show is so important. Nobody would elect somebody that stammers, that stutters, that I don't know, that outside he doesn't look well, he doesn't look presentable or something. This is not the way that a leader is elected. It's not the outside the outside look and that would determine what is the leader. It's the inside qualities. Is this person worked on himself? Is he arrogant? Is he humble? What type of person he is? And you see that Hashem bechavana purposely made him not perfect in his speech, so people won't say, oh, he had such an ability to talk that he convinced everybody and he gave us the Torah. He convinced us. He had a way to talk us out and to convince us to accept the Torah. No, it's nothing to do with the way he was talking. So it says in Tehillim, King David says, Hashem tzaddik yivchan. Hashem is testing the tzaddikim. So the best quality of leaders is not how they're ruling, how strong they are, how firm they are, but how kind they are with their subjects, and how merciful they are. And when somebody is, for example, is a shepherd, okay? So in shepherd, you need a loyalty, okay? And integrity, so that your animals will not go and eat in the properties of other people. Usually a shepherd sits there all day long. He doesn't do much. He guards the animals. He doesn't do so much. And he's lonely on his own. And all his responsibility is just to take care of his animals. That's what he does all day long. Their work is very routine kind of a work, nothing to do so much. A leader, on the contrary, is so much different. A leader enjoys so much the power struggles, the fights. He needs to lead, he needs to get power, he needs to get honors, he needs to get the respect. This is so much different. He has people, he has a whole bunch of people that work underneath him. He has to tell them what to do. He's not a loner like a shepherd. And he has so much responsibility to do. And it's not a routine work at all. Every day something else pops up. Every day something else to take care of. This messenger coming, this ambassador comes, this you have to address this problem. Sometimes it's the drought, sometimes it's the economy, sometimes every time you have to address a different situation. And Moshe gets now both things. He first of all, he was a shepherd, so he took care of. He as a shepherd, because he is lonely, he is not so much surrounded with a society, with the corruption of society. So he's able to elevate himself and come closer to Hashem. So after being a shepherd, okay, now he's exposed to being a leader, and as a leader we saw how he find his qualities, how he became a special man, how patient he had, how much humility he had, and it says that Hashem revealed to him in the sneh, when he was in the desert, when he was alone there. And Moshe was curious. Moshe didn't let it, okay, so he saw a weird thing, okay, I'll go and continue my day. No, he was curious. Not only he was curious, he had an interest. He wanted to make a difference. He wanted to see what is the message that Hashem wants to show him there. There was a little village in Japan, okay, that was on top of one of the hills over there. Down the hill, there is the Pacific Ocean. On the top of the hill lived the master, the mayor of that city. Was a very old man. In Japanese, they call him Maguchi. And he was a very smart person. His grandfather was already the mayor, also this Maguchi type of a person. People came to ask him for advice, and he was a smart man. He had a field around his house. Everybody there had fields. They were farmers. They took care of their crops. They were very simple people. For some years, okay, there was a big drought there. No rain, no food. They were hungry. Nothing to eat. No crops. It was very, very hard. And then, after so many years, they had a very good year. Big rain came. Oh, so they were able to raise. They had crops. They were celebrating. They were so happy that everything was okay. And in the spring of that year, they decided that they want to make a celebration. They want to make a party as a thank you for the rain that they got and all the crops that they have now piling up in their warehouses and everything. Fine. So they sit next to the beach. They do their party. They ask all the people to come and celebrate it. Now this Maguchi couldn't come. He was an old man. He couldn't come down the hill, and he decided to stay in his own house up the hill. As people are celebrating, they eat, they drink, they associate with people. Something weird happens. The Pacific Ocean went back, and as it withdrew back, they saw the bottom of the ocean. Something interesting. Now, when the water goes back, they're able to see all kind of things that were hidden in the water that they were never able to see. All kind of fish, all kind of special stones that are inside the water, all kind of
Beautiful flower, maybe.
all kind of how you call it, shells and stuff like that, and kids are interested, adults are interested because they saw some ships that were sunk in the past, and here they see some gold coins, and here they see some other pieces that rusty old stuff, and they're interested. They want to see what's in there. The old man was watching them from above in the hill, and he sees that also. And it reminds him of an old incident that happened once in the time of his grandfather, that something weird like that happened when the water of the ocean withdrawing and going backwards. But then he remembers that something bad happened afterwards. When the tsunami comes back, when it comes with full force back into the shore and washes everything that comes in its way.
Whole city, like maybe.
So he was afraid. Now the kids are very much interested in the shells and the clams and all whatever they see there. Adults are interested in the I don't know, the golden coins and the treasures that they might find. Fishermen are interested on all these fish that they have there. They put already their nets and they want to make a profit and everything. And how he, standing there on the top of the mountain, on the top of the hill, can warn them that something bad is going to happen. He doesn't know what to do. He's thinking and thinking, and then he's taking a torch, puts fire in the torch, goes to the field around his house, and throw the torch into the field. It's springtime. It started to already grow, and it started to go on fire. It goes on fire. All his field around his house is in fire, and flame is going up. People in the shore, they see that there's Maguchi's house and field go on fire, and they say, we have to go and save him. They leave everything behind. They go to save him. As they climb on top of the hill, they hear a very strong roar behind them. They turn back and they see that the water is coming back forcefully with a big wave comes all the way, but they were already on top of the hill, so it didn't hit them. But whatever they left there, all their party, all whatever different houses that were there, some other things that were there, all were washed up with this huge wave, with this tsunami, and lo alenu, everything was destroyed. They were so grateful to their Maguchi that with his wisdom, okay, was able to save them. Okay, meaning in a way he sacrificed his own house for the sake of his people, right? Small example of this there, but on a bigger scale, this was Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu kept constantly saving the nation from all kind of troubles that they went into. He cared for them like they were his babies. It's unbelievable how caring and loving this person was. So he brings them to a very, very high peak, to a very, very high top, accepting the Torah. To accept the Torah, not everybody can. You have to be suitable for that. You have to be in a high level for that. It says, Vayichan Shama, meaning Keish Echad, Belev Echad, they become united. Not so many situations there are when Jewish people are united, and they became to a very, very high level to accept the Torah. He goes to the mountain for 40 days. He comes back, a crash. Hashem tells him, Red, Kishiched Amcha, they made a